Susan Cingari here with Titan FC fighter Mike Lilly, who has a big fight coming up on Friday, May 29th at Titan FC 60. Hey, Mike, how are you? And thanks for joining me so late this evening.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
How has training camp been for you? Are you training at home or at MMA Masters, sir?
Training's been good. I've been training both at home and at MMA Masters, and I'm lucky because I have my brother to train with, and he's been helping me out a lot this camp. Well, he always helps me out, but it's like I'm lucky to have him because a lot of people don't have a brother. So when the whole COVID thing started, I was still training at home with my brother.
So when you say you're training at home and you're training MMA Masters, kind of take me through a typical day, if you will, as to, because COVID's affected so many people, as to how you're kind of spending your time then, sir, training.
All right, so I'll go to MMA Masters at 11 o'clock, and because of COVID, not a lot of people can go there. And because I have a fight coming up, I'm one of like the only people, well, me and my other teammate, Frank Carrillo, he goes there too because he's fighting on the same card. So we, me, him, my brother, one other guy, and the coaches. That's how training goes in the morning. And then in the afternoon, I'll come back home. My brother meet me at my house, and we'll train together. We'll run and do pads and stuff like that.
Interesting. Has it been strange for you to be in a gym with no one else there?
It feels a little bit awkward, but now I'm used to it. I feel like this is gonna be like the normal for a little while.
How do you think you match up stylistically with your opponent? You certainly have more experience, I would say, in MMA than him.
Yeah, I think I match up well against him. I think I'm a bad matchup for him, and yeah, I think I'm a bad matchup for him. I think it's gonna be. I'm not taking him lightly though because I was in his position once where I didn't have that many fights and I was fighting guys with way more experience than me. So I still see him as a dangerous opponent. I'm not taking him lightly.
Interesting. So what are some of the weaknesses in his game you can capitalize on then, Mike?
Some of the weaknesses, the one I noticed the most was his cardio. Looks like he doesn't have that much of a gas tank.
Do you feel like you're going to dominate him because you have such a strong Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background as well?
I don't want to sound like I'm talking crap, but I don't know. The way I train hard. Like the way I've been training, like, I've been training nonstop, busting my butt. That's the plan, to go out there and dominate him.
So, Mike, we're going to talk a little bit about your cardio in a few minutes because I spoke with fight promoter Burt Watson today and MMA legend. He paid you a great compliment. But in the meantime, Mike, how bad do you want to beat him?
I want to beat him bad. He's in the way of my goals and my dreams. He's standing right in front of my like I said, my dreams and my goals. He's in my way. So I have to destroy him and get him out the way. He's in my path.
What can fans look forward to when they tune in?
Exciting fighter, explosive, nonstop cardio, always going 100%.
Now, we already discussed earlier in the interview how it's a little bit weird not having anybody in the gym, but have you given any thought, because you're from Miami, you train in Miami, Titan fights are usually in Fort Lauderdale, which MMA fans is just about an hour north of Miami, so we always have some great hometown fighters and also hometown fans. Has it dawned on you what it might be like to fight without fans?
I used to wrestle when I was in high school, so there'd be some times where we have like matches, and maybe like 10 people would show up. So I feel like it's gonna be similar to that because there's still gonna be people there, like the film crew and stuff like that. And I think it'll be quiet, just like how like sometimes in high school when I had a couple of the wrestling matches where nobody would show up. And watching the UFC events, I feel like it's not going to be too bad. I think it's still going to be a great experience.
All right. Now, you have not fought for a year, but man, MLMMA fans, our boy Mike is on a winning streak. In fact, his last 3 fights, which, Mike, I got to say, it's like plus 3 times for you as a charm. You have won all, and you have 3 wins over fighter Jose Caceres, brother of UFC fighter Alex Caceres. So we have to talk about this last fight that went down at MMA Live, which, by the way, is run by, as I mentioned earlier, the one and only legend, Burt Watson, because it was off the charts with complete domination from the beginning. So break it down for us, if you could, please, Mike.
First of all, I want to say a lot of people don't know this, but me and Jose, because like I mentioned earlier, I used to wrestle in high school. Me and Jose used to wrestle against each other all the time in high school, and I used to always beat him. So for that fight, that was like a big confidence boost. I felt like I already had one over him. So in my mind, I was like, I'm just gonna go out there and do the same thing I used to do back in the day. So that's why I feel like that for that fight. But now that fight with Jose, it was a good experience for me. It was a good win for me because he's a well-known opponent in Florida. He's a good opponent, as in good because he beat the current UFC champion, the only guy to beat Kamaru Usman. So for me to go out there and beat Jose in a dominant fashion, it was a real confidence booster, and made me feel real good about myself, and shows that I deserve to be at the next level or the highest level.
In the second round, let's talk a little bit about that because I feel like that was an interesting point in the second round.
The second round of the fight, well, the first round, I feel like I started off dominating, but then the second round was when I feel like I had the fight won because it was times in the fight before I took him down, he had his hands on his knees, showing that he was tired. I felt like if I wanted to, if I kept the fight standing, I could knock him out, but I felt like I just wanted to play it safe and get the win.
You know, Burt Watson has been around a lot of fighters, and for those who don't know him, you should really look him up. It's Burt Watson, and if you're a new fight fan, you definitely should look him up for sure. And Burt really felt that your cardio was the key to winning that fight. What would you say to that compliment from him?
I believe that's true. I believe my cardio is a big weapon of mine. It's something I work on every day. Even when I'm not fighting or I don't have fights coming up, I'm always working on my cardio. I always make sure I'm running every day or I'm hitting the punching bag, doing something to keep my cardio up. And because I come from a wrestling background, so a lot of my training has a lot of wrestling in it to keep my cardio up there.
You know, we're just talking a little bit, MLMMA fans, about how Mike Lilly is training for his upcoming fight at Titan FC 60. And as we're discussing, so much of the fight is about training and cardio and wrestling background. But another aspect of the fight, which is really important, is I'd like to talk about the mental aspect of the fight because a lot of fighters are using visualization techniques. I've heard from some fighters that they get nervous beforehand, which I find humorous, but you'd never know it. So do you prepare mentally for a fight like this, sir?
All right, for this, I take it, this is the way I look at it, fighting, period. If I'm not going to enjoy something, why would I want to do it? Like, it's like I look at it as a career that I love. I don't look at it as a job. I try to look at it as something I love doing and it makes me happy. So I try to keep that same attitude because before the whole COVID thing started, I was actually working security. And I used to hate working overnight. I hate working that job. I hated being there. So I try to be thankful and happy that I actually get to step in the cage every time and do what I love.
Good for you. Positive attitude. Many of the Titan FC fighters are now fighting for the UFC. So, by the way, shout out to my dear friend Ern Rivera and congrats on your move up to the UFC. So, Mike, you fought Niko Price at Fight Time 23 in Florida, and shout out to our friends at Fight Time, and love and respect to Howard Davis Jr., who's no longer with us, and his wife Carla. And Niko, he's now in the UFC, and when you think about that, if you were to land in the UFC, is Niko Price the first person on your radar or somebody you would want to face if you were to take the move up to the UFC?
I think whoever they give me, if that's the first person they want to give me when I make it there, I'll make that. I'll take that fight. But I'm willing to fight anybody, just to, like I said, anybody. Like if his name comes up first, then yeah, I'll take it right away.
Mike, what do you like to do in your free time? I think I read or saw, we spoke a little bit earlier, you're Mr. Gamer. So talk to us a little about your gaming stuff and what's your favorite game?
Yeah, I like playing video games. Right now, I've been playing a lot of Resident Evil. They remade Resident Evil 3 from back in the 90s. And I've been playing that a lot lately. I like to play a lot of fighting games like Street Fighter and Dragon Ball Fighters. And me and my brother always compete against each other in Street Fighter and Dragon Ball.
Before we go today, Mike, is there anything else you want to add?
I just want to say thanks to Lex from Titan for giving all the fighters the opportunity to fight during this time. And there's not a lot of sports around, so I'm thankful for the opportunity that he's given us, and hopefully a lot of people tune in so they get to see the fighters and see my skills and let the world know who Mike Lilly is. And also I'd like to shout out to my coaches at MMA Masters for opening up the gym for me to help me get ready for this fight. Shout out to my brother Henry Lilly. He helped me out so much for this training camp. And shout out to my sponsors, Dynamic Wellness. You can find me on Facebook at Michael Lilly. You can find me on Twitter at Miko Lilly. On Instagram is Mike Lilly MMA1.
Spoken like a true warrior. All right, fight fans and MLMMA fans. We want to wish you, Mike Lilly, good luck at Titan Fight 60. You can catch that fight on UFC Fight Pass Friday, May 29th, 2020. I'm Susan Cingari from Must Love MMA, where every fighter has a story. So let me know who you want me to interview next time. And while you're at it, don't forget to knock out that subscribe button and give this video a like. Thanks for watching, and Mike Lilly, good luck at Tight FC 60.